Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Manrique, and I'm one of the Habit Guys. We teach realtors prospecting habits so they finally become top producing agents. And welcome to the Realtor Habits Podcast, where agents don't need more stuff, they need better habits. Before we get into today's episode, I want to let you know about our Habit Guys Instagram. We all want to prospect consistently and be more organized. Well, to do that, you need to think, do, and act like a top producer. Watch us prospect live and teach you every week for absolutely free in our Instagram account how to get more expireds listings, FSBOs listings, how to connect with your sphere, learn how to not sound salesy on the phone, but instead make friends. Watch the highs and lows that come with prospecting in real time and get questions to your answers. All you have to do is visit us at www.instagram.com/habitguys or just follow us on Instagram, Habit Guys, and learn all the skills top producers use in their day-to-day business. If you know anyone that can gain value from this podcast, please do us a huge favor and share it with them. We're here to help as many realtors as possible, and we appreciate your help to do so. All right, let's get into today's episode. Now, this is one of those real special episodes to share. It's called The One Line You Need to Ask Your Sphere to Get Referral Business. That's right. So often I hear from real estate agents that maybe they fear calling their sphere, right? They second guess what to say when they call their sphere. There's no goal in mind. What is the objective? They don't know if it's worth calling their sphere. So they're wasting their time. Think about that. Time is the most valuable asset we have. And as a real estate professional, your primary goal is to locate individuals that have intent to buy, sell, and even lease. So it's critical to be able to understand what to say to your sphere, understand which sphere contacts you should be calling, when to call them, how often to call them, and what to say when you connect with them. And in today's episode, we're just going to focus on one of those spokes, right? Because at the end of the day, if you don't feel confident in what you're doing, in your business, in the practice of growing your business, then you're not going to have a business for very long. This is true, not just financially true, right? Because you're probably not closing enough deals the way that you want, right? You're not generating the revenue that you want in your business. But fundamentally, psychologically, how do you continue to come back to a profession that only feels disappointing, shameful, heartache? If you feel these negative emotions time and time again, of course, you're not going to be able to continue to be a real estate agent, right? That's when you'll probably find a job, or maybe even considering finding a job. So this episode right here is so important fundamentally because in real estate specifically, this is different from any other type of sales. This is a very emotional business. This is a business that relies on building trust, building relationships. And it's really special in the sense that these transactions for the people that you're helping don't happen often, right? On average, depending on the study that you look at, people move every, 5 to 10 to 15 years, depending on the market, maybe even longer. So it's really important to maintain relationships, to know what to say to the people that you connect with. So and then when they are ready to have a real estate question, when they're ready to have a real estate opportunity, you are the agent they think about. You are the realtor that they think about, instead of going with the first person they come across. So often I hear from students these stories when they start implementing our sphere process that they find out that a month ago, a week ago, their friend, their family member, their former client just bought a new place, just sold their house, with another agent. So fundamentally, this is so important. So let's get back to the topic at hand, what we're going to focus on here. The one line you need to ask your sphere to get referral business. So that one line is what we call third base, and it's a referral question, but it's not a direct referral question. It's not, oh, can you think of maybe 3 people that might need help with buying, selling, or leasing? It's not direct. And the reason for it not being direct is because when we ask for a referral, at some fundamental, again, psychological, human behavioral level, that person, if they're going to be referring you, is going to be taking responsibility for the level of customer service that you're going to be providing their contact, their friend, their family, their colleague. And that, for a lot of people, is very uncomfortable, right? Especially if they haven't worked with you directly. Even if they have worked with you directly, it could still be cumbersome for some people because what they're saying is now they have to be vulnerable and putting themselves out there by recommending you. So what we need to do fundamentally is we need to ask a question that is not asked often, so it gets them out of this habitual response, right? Because when you ask that question, or you ask, hey, do you know anyone that might be interested in buying or selling? Or, hey, would you refer me business, if you came across anyone that was interested in buying or selling? The habitual response is, yeah, of course. Are you kidding me? Of course, yes. Oh yeah, if anything comes my way, I'll let you know. That's a habitual response, especially if you guys are, if you all are cordial with each other. Now, what we really want is we want to get down to the truth. And to get to the truth, we need to frame the question in a way where, again, the contact, your former colleague, your sphere contact, your past client, friends, family, what have you, doesn't take it personal. So the way that we do that is by, number one, we want to start the line by throwing out a hypothetical. So you could start it by saying, I'm curious. I was wondering. I want to ask you a hypothetical question. Or you could say, hypothetically, right? So that's the first thing that we want to do. And the reason why we're starting that way is it begins to allow them to separate themselves from the personal responsibility of potential referring them. And then it allows for the phrase that I'm about to give you, which you should write down, right? If in your car, just, when you get to the office or when you get to a place to write this down, you want to write this down, okay? The line is, if a friend or neighbor was thinking, of buying or selling, who would you suggest they chat with first? I'm going to say it one more time. If a friend or neighbor was thinking of buying or selling, who would you suggest they chat with first? So let's break this down. Number one, no one is asked this question. So automatically, they have to get out of this habitual correspondence back and forth type of communication, and then they think. So generally what happens when you ask this question is that there's going to be a pause. And it's a good pause because now they have to compute, they have to process, wait a second, what did you just ask me? If a friend or neighbor was thinking of buying or selling, who would you suggest they chat with first? And we already prefaced this with a hypothetical, with a curiosity, with a wondering, right? And we're not talking about you. We're talking about them, right? So now it allows them to think. And when they think, right, now that the focus is on the cognitive part of their brain instead of the reactionary part, now they can say the truth. And they could tell you, oh, you know what? My sister actually just got a real estate license, so I would probably refer her. Or my cousin, or, my best friend's realtor is supposedly really good, so I would recommend that. And this is fundamental to understanding if someone is worth following up with for the sake of your profession. I'm not telling you not to have a personal relationship with that contact. Yeah, you could go to birthday parties, you guys could do happy hours, all that stuff. But professionally, you're not going to waste your time following up with someone that you know is not going to refer you business because they clearly stated so. This is very important, okay? Now, what happens the majority of the time, if you're truly speaking to someone that knows you, right, and you know them, they're going to pause and they're going to be very jubilant. They're going to be like, oh, are you kidding me? You, of course. That's what's going to happen, I would say, the vast majority of the time. So we'll say about 70%, 75% of the time, that's going to be the answer if you truly have a relationship with them and they truly don't have another contact. But that's fundamentally what we want to get to. And what this allows us to do is it allows us to get past the fear because now we have an expectation. It's okay if they have someone else. I don't want to waste my time continuing to follow up with someone, continuing having conversations with someone that clearly is not going to refer me business, is clearly not going to work with me directly in the future. So this line again helps you get absolute clarity as to fundamentally who you should be following up with. And not only that, but who you should not be following up with. And that makes your call effort moving forward so much clearer. You have so much more confidence in what you're doing and what you're talking about. And then from there, there's a nurturing process. Now, as I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff that goes into calling your sphere. As I mentioned, we're still having issues as to how to start the conversation, knowing what to say, how long the conversation should be, how to maintain relationships. And guess what? This Wednesday, we actually have a masterclass that's going to break this all down. We're going to share our script. We're going to break down all these scenarios to give you the confidence, the motivation to reach out to your sphere and, believe it or not, potentially get you business this week. Because business comes from relationships. Business comes from people that you have trust with, and it's just waiting for you, sitting out there. It's low-hanging fruit. And until you go through this process and you're able to speak to them in the manner that we teach, you're not going to know for certain if, number one, there's an opportunity for you to jump on today, and number two, if there's an opportunity for you to nurture moving forward that can lead to a compounding effect. Compounding effect in the sense that it's going to allow your business to grow and grow and grow. And why is that so important? Because on average, throughout our lifetime, we come across at least 100 people that remember us, that know us. And if those people are out there talking about you because they already communicated to you that you are the person that they would go to, this is how you build that referral business. This is how you get away from cold calling, because now you have a database. I like to call them an unpaid sales force out there. As opportunities come across their plate, real estate questions, real estate conversations with their friends, their family, their colleagues, because we are clear with them, because we've set expectations with our sphere, with our former colleagues, with our friends, family, past clients, all of a sudden, business starts just dropping on our lap. And guess what type of conversations we're having? Warm conversations with people that want to speak with us, conversations that reinforce the confidence within ourselves that we're doing the right thing, that we're growing, and fundamentally it leads to transactions. It leads to growth in your business, and it builds upon itself again and again and again. So there's no if. If you're not speaking to your sphere, if you do not know with 100% certainty that you should be speaking with your sphere a certain way at a certain time, you need to sign up for this masterclass, and you need to share this with everyone else that you know that is in real estate. Go to habitguys.com/sign up. Again, that's www.habitguys.com/sign up, and sign up for this masterclass to revolutionize your business. All right. Before we wrap up today's episode, we have an exciting offer just for our loyal listeners. If you've been enjoying the content and finding value in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Here's the deal. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, not only will it help us reach more real estate professionals like yourself, but will also send you a special thank you. Simply screenshot your 5-star review and email it to us at info@habitguys.com. As a token of our appreciation, we'll send you a signed copy of our book, The Habit House, absolutely free. This book is packed with all the strategies and insights you need to build powerful habits and take your real estate career to the next level. So head over to Apple Podcasts, leave that review, and claim your free signed copy today. Thanks for your support and for being a part of the Habit Guys community. In closing, here is the missing piece to your business. It's accepting that when you know better, you do not necessarily do better. You do better when you change your habits. Let us help.